Hey, Palmeretti's. Monday, May 11th. I just hopefully got the review video for math and science from last Friday, and you're tackling that and getting that turned in. Today's lesson for math is here. I'll have science coming out in a little bit. This math lesson, lesson 16.1. Guys, we're on our last topic. But before we get there, I wanted to say a couple things. I wanted to say thank you for the teacher appreciation, the gift cards, the notes, the videos. That was awesome. I appreciate it. And I know Miss Palmer does too. So we miss you guys. We love you guys. Uh, this stinks. But real quick, couple things from your homework book. Don't forget they have those parent letters in the back. This is something I haven't talked about. So go back and look at those parent letters. Show those to your parents. And that whole book should be getting done real soon. In here, in the colored math pages, there were some things we didn't do. You have your orange pages that you could do for review. You have your vocabulary review that would be good for you to practice. And then there are some reteaching pages in here. I honestly would tackle these reteaching pages over the summer to stay sharp going into fifth grade. I know some of you will, some of you won't. There's an assessment practice in here too. Okay, if you knock out those assessments and you want me to grade it, let me know. Tutoring. If you need any tutoring over the summer, I am available for hire. So if you need some tutoring help, reach out. I'll be around, and we can work through all that math that's still left over in there because that's what I would tackle is those reteaching pages and those assessment pages for us. But 6 lessons left. Okay, Monday, Wednesday, Friday this week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday next week. By the way, all work that is late or overdue needs to be emailed to me by Friday. So if you're behind, time to get caught up. Guys, this last chapter has some, I don't want to say easy stuff, but it does, but also has some stuff that's a little intricate and can get a little tricky, but something that you could find all around you. We're going to take a tour around the classroom here in a little bit and look at some stuff. But get these pages out. Colored pages 585, 587, homework page 197, 198, and that's what we're going to tackle. You might want to have some line paper and a protractor ready to go so you can use the ruler on the protractor or have a ruler out. All right. So we're talking about lines. Okay, laugh at this. That's how easy we're going to deal with this. But there's different kind of lines that we're going to talk about, though. I can draw and identify, everybody say perpendicular, parallel, intersecting lines. Okay? So this is a number line below. This is an example of a line. We've seen this all year long. A line will go on forever, ever in a straight path. Now, if you go back to page 550, okay, go back and look at page 550. That's going to be a key page to help us here because we're going to use some items from that page. But if it has the arrows on both sides, that means it's going to keep on going. Draw the following pairs of lines, 2 lines that will never cross, 2 lines that cross at 1 point, 2 lines that cross at 2 points. If you cannot draw the lines, tell me why. Well, let's work on these real quick, okay? So the first one at a time. Draw the following pairs of lines, 2 lines that will never cross, okay? So you're driving down the street, bam. See these lines right here? They're never going to cross. They're never going to cross. I could have drawn them this way. They're never going to go cross. So as you're driving in your cars, right, pay attention to those cars that are passing you. You want them to stay right there, and you're going to pass those. If you had a bird's eye view of the interstate or any roads, you see how you have both sides. Think about rides that you might go on, and there's a car by you, right? Those cars are side by side. So that's parallel lines. They'll never cross. 2 lines that cross at 1 point. Well, they're going to cross at 1 point. Okay? There go 2 lines, the arrows on both sides, and they cross at a point. Go back to page 550 because we're talking about lines and points. Okay, so that's 2 lines that will cross at 1 point. 2 lines that cross at 2 points. Okay? Well, 2 lines cannot cross at 2 points because their lines are straight. We can't do that last one. So you can't do that last one. These will never cross at 2 points because then that means it's going to curve. And that brings us to this one right here. Terry said the lines shown intersect at 3 points. Is he correct? Well, he's not correct because you see that curve? That curve is not a straight line, okay? A line is a straight path, okay? A line is a straight path. Okay, this is a line, but this curve right here is not going to work. Okay, so the curve shown is not a line. It's a curve. It's not a straight path. It's not a line. Got that? All right, write it down, flip it over. Now, I've told you to really pay attention to the vocabulary, right? Boom. A line is a straight path of points that goes on and on and on in opposite directions. A pair of lines can be described as, everybody say parallel, perpendicular, intersecting. Now, as you're driving around, if you're walking around, if you're in your house, take a picture, find me a picture of parallel lines, send me a picture of perpendicular lines, and send me a picture of lines that are intersecting. You see the railroad tracks, right? Um, if you ever get a chance to see them, stay off of them. We're not supposed to be on them or playing on them. But we can see that the railroad ties, see how the lines are going this way? And then they're going this way? We see that they're intersecting, okay? So the railroad tracks in the picture are parallel because they never meet, but they are also perpendicular to the railroad tracks because they intersect at right angles. We're going to talk about this in a moment. Right angles are showing up again. This is what you want to study and memorize right here, okay? Parallel lines, okay, pairs of lines are given special names depending on the relationship. Parallel lines never intersect. These lines will never intersect. That means they're never going to cross each other. They're just going to go on and on, never intersect. Intersecting lines pass through the same point. These are intersecting lines. They are not parallel. They are not perpendicular. They are intersecting lines passing through the same point. Now, perpendicular lines. You see the right angles? How many right angles do you see? There's 4 of them. Okay. If I just drew a T, if I drew a T, right? If I drew a T, it's still perpendicular lines because there's square corners. If you see a square corner or a right angle, you've got perpendicular lines there. Okay. But perpendicular lines are lines that they intersect to form right angles. These are intersecting lines, but they're not perpendicular. You don't see any right angles. You see obtuse and acutes. Obtuse and acutes. Here you see 4 right angles. And depending on what monk, it might have just 2. Get that studied, memorized, okay? Put them on flashcards. That's going to be key down the road. But also knowing things like right angles are showing up and then some things from page 550 like lines and points and the symbols we use. All right. Find examples in your classroom where you can identify parallel lines, intersecting lines, and perpendicular lines. So let's take a walk around the classroom. Let's see if I can do this without breaking anything. This is going to be fun. Done it once before, but let's see if we can do this now. All right, without messing up. Oh, that's the ceiling. All right, what's up, you guys? I don't want to trip. All right, so let's look at the roof. See those right there? So look at the ceiling right there. Okay? See the perpendicular lines? See how they're intersecting right there? You see the 4 square corners? Square corner, square corner, square corner, ooh, square corner. So 4 square corners. That was funny. Let's go look. Let's see where else we got. Oh, check these out. Check these out. Look at these pipes. Look at the pipes right here. This pipe and this pipe. These 2 pipes are parallel, right? They don't want them to cross, and you see them going all the way down. So there's parallel. Oh, check out these chair legs. Where are the chair legs? Check out the chair legs right here. Yeah, the room's cleaned up, guys. I know, I'm sad. But look at that. They're parallel, right? Look down here. See this line? Can you see it? Yeah. See this one right here? This line and this line are going to intersect. If this kept going through it, that's going to intersect right there. All right. What else do we got? Let's see. Let's see. What's happening, you guys? Looking for some more lines intersecting. Ooh, check it out. Look at our clock. See the second hand? Right there, the second hand and the hour hand right there, they are intersecting, right? They're not perpendicular. There's no right angles up in there. What else do we got? What else do we got? Miss Palmer's not here today. All right. All right. Check this out. Again, yeah, I've cleaned up the room. This is what it looks like when it's all cleaned up. Give you guys a tour. We miss you guys, so I had to clean it up. It stinks. Oh, our bookshelf right here. Look at this bookshelf. Look at all these lines. You've got these guys going this way that are parallel, never intersecting. But then you got all these perpendicular lines right here. And then you've got some back here that are intersecting. See that? They're everywhere. Take a peek at that. That's crazy. So you get an idea. Now, what I want you to do is around your house, or if you're driving in the car and you got your phone, take a picture of perpendicular lines, take a picture of intersecting, take a picture of parallel. and send those to me. Get some extra credit. And that is that. Let me get this set back up here so we can finish this. Sorry for the craziness and the just. Now you get to know what we see sometimes when we're looking at your phones on Zoom. You guys are moving around. So hopefully you've got an idea now. Getting our stuff set back up here. I don't want to break it. The other day I dropped it. That was a lot of fun. All right, are we back? All right, let's see. Okay, so we just did that. Bam, we knocked that out. With me? Let me get this tilted back just a little bit. All right, so I can see it a little bit. Are we still recording? Yep. All right. So I took care of that page. Let's go to the next page. All right, what geometric term could you use to describe the top and bottom edges of a book? Well, think about a book, okay? Think about our book. The top, let's take a look at our math back. The top and the bottom edges, right? Let's look at our books. Grab a book and look at it. All right. So we've got parallel lines. We can see some parallel lines there. All right. That's a geometric term. Okay. All right. There are straight lines that will never touch. Right. They got those straight lines that will never touch. And you can freehand those. Just make sure they're, straight and not going to cross. So I'm going to redo mine a little bit with my straight edge there. The blades of an open pair of scissors look like what pair of lines? Well, get a pair of scissors and you open them up. What do they look like? Well, they look like an acute angle, right? But here, as we're talking about lines, they're intersecting lines. Because what are they going to do? Yeah, they're going to cross, right? They're going to cross at a point. Now, could they also be perpendicular? Yes, they could. They could be perpendicular depending how far they open up. But they could be perpendicular lines. And my scissors are not around, so I'm not going to stress about that. Okay? All right. Use this diagram. Name the 4 points. Remember, the points are right here. You got point W, X, Y, and Z. So you got point W, X, Y, Z. Okay? W, X, Y, Z. For a point, all you need to do is give me the letter. That's it. And put the word point. If you want to put a little black dot above it, that's fine. Okay? Now name 4 lines. This is where you're going to use page 550. Okay? Go back to colored page 550. They want you to name 4 lines. We got WX. Put the arrows above it like that. You have XZ. Put the line above it like that with the arrows. You have YZ. Put the line above it. And you have WY. Now, could you have said YW, YZ, ZX, XW? Absolutely. Could you have connected WZ and Y to the X? No, because they're not going to work. They're not connecting here. Think about that if you were on these lines and you couldn't get off of them. Imagine if it was a train or a ride, and that's the way it was going. Now it says name 2 pairs of parallel lines. Parallel going this way, but also parallel going this way. See that? So you could pick your choices here. So I'm going to go with WX and the YZ. I'm going to do the greens, and I'm going to put the line symbol above the top. If you wanted to do WY and XZ, that's fine. That's okay by me. All right, this is what we're going to see. Now name 2 pairs of perpendicular lines. Now remember, they need to be perpendicular. Which ones would be perpendicular? Okay, so check that out. Now there's a couple different answers here. Okay, you could say WY, right? And you could say it goes with the WX, or you could say it goes with the YZ. All right, or you could pick XZ to go with YZ. I mean, there's so many combinations. I'm going to go with WY and WX. Now, what you notice here is when you pick that answer, you're going to have letters that share. So since the W and the Y, you have to have it with WX. If you wanted to do YZ, you could have done that. So those are your perpendicular lines. Okay, perpendiculars. They make that square corner. Again, look back on the other page. All right. Number 7 says use geometric terms to describe what is shown. Be specific. What do you see there? Parallel lines. Parallel lines. What do you see there? You see 2 things, don't you? You see perpendicular, right? And they're also intersecting. And what do you see at number 9? Yep, that's a point. Okay, this goes back to page 550, guys. Now, this is going to be for you guys. You're driving around with your families, right? You pull up to an intersection. If it's like this, what do you see? Perpendicular, intersecting. You're driving down this side and they're driving on this side. That's I-4, right? Maybe it's uh, eh, um, State Road 60, parallel. And then what do you see here? Not perpendicular because there's no square corners. You see the obtuse and the acutes? This would be intersecting. Okay? All right. Now down at the bottom it says draw what is described by the geometric shape. So get your ruler. For perpendicular, what does it have to have? Yeah. Has to look like that T, has to look like an L, a plus, it has to have those. You need to have right angles. Okay, if you don't see any right angles in it, it's not going to work. Intersecting, too obtuse, too acute. Okay, and I forgot my arrows on the sides, so forgive me. And then parallel lines. They're never going to intersect. Parallel. You with me? Pause it. Okay? All right. Flip it over. Where are we at time here? Well, that's not too bad. Try to keep it at a decent time here. All right. So Bella names this line LM. Miguel comes in and says it's LN. Who's correct? Well, they're both correct. You got it. Okay? They're both correct. Any 2 points on the line can be used. You can use any of those 2 points. And L, and M, ML, I mean, any lines that you wanted to do. If all perpendicular lines are also intersecting lines, are all intersecting lines also perpendicular? Well, what's the difference between perpendicular and intersecting? Go back to your other pages. The answer is no. Perpendicular has to have right angles. Okay? Perpendicular has to have right angles. No right angles, they could just be intersecting, and that's when you see the obtuse and the acute. Draw 3 lines, though 2 of the lines are perpendicular, and the third line intersects the perpendicular lines exactly at 1 point. Label the lines with 2 points. So I kind of draw one main line first. It's kind of how I do it. So draw 3 lines, so 2 of the lines are perpendicular, right? So then I draw my plus. See my right angles? There's my perpendicular. And the third line intersects. Bam, there's my intersecting, right? And then you could label them. You could put some points up here. Like this could be A, this could be B, this could be C, this could be D, right? And you could make some points like that. E, F, G, right? So you have your perpendicular, and I'm going to show it to you. Perpendicular right there. See that square corner, right angles, okay? And your intersecting lines right there. See that? Okay? Now down here it says AB is parallel to CD. Well, no duh. And CD is perpendicular to EF. If a line through B and D is perpendicular, if a line through B and D is perpendicular to AB, what is the relationship between BD and EF? Ooh, put a star by this one, making us think a little bit. Well, if I drew a line, okay, if I drew a line straight through here, what is BD related to EF? How do you see those two are related? Use one of our geometric terms. Yes, very good. They are parallel. Parallel. BD is parallel to EF. Now, which geometric term would you use to describe the power cables? So let's take a look at our power cables here. See our power cables? Not the brown part, not the thing that's holding it up. I don't even know that name for that beam. What geometric term would you use to describe the power cables shown? Are they perpendicular? Now you do see some here, but we're talking about the power cables. Are they parallel? Are they intersecting? Are they points? Yeah, they are parallel. You with me? All right, let's get the homework in front of you. Okay, so with the homework, okay, read through it. You're going to use page 550. You're going to use your other pages, but again, what they've done for you, parallel lines. It's all right here. Check this out. This is all that vocabulary that we saw before, right? So use this, okay? Parallel, obtuse, acute, that's intersecting. Oh, four right angles, perpendicular lines. So use a geometric term. So is this parallel, intersecting, or perpendicular? Tell me about those. Okay. Now, number three is going to be a different one. Number three is going to be different. Okay. All right. So number three, you're going to describe another way. So you tell me what number three is. You could look at page 550, or you could just tell me what you see there. Using this figure right here, name me three different lines. So find me three different lines. So I'm going to draw these. You put the letters underneath them. I'm going to give you one. I see A, B. Your job now is to give me two more. All right, I gave you A, B. Now I want you to name me a pair of parallel lines. Tell me which two are parallel. Find me parallel lines there. Name two lines that are perpendicular. So put the letters underneath those arrows, underneath those line symbols that I got from page 550. Have I said that enough? Name two intersecting lines that are perpendicular. Now, find me two lines that intersect but are perpendicular. That means they are going to have square corners, right angles. So find me two lines that would do that. Okay? So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 things done there. Not hard at all if you go back and use these other pages. Go back and use page 585 and 587. Okay? All right, flip it over. We're going to do a couple of these together. All right? Okay. Name two lines. So let's knock this out here. I see AE and I see BF. I'm going to give this one to you. That's done. Check that off. There's other ones. Name two lines that are perpendicular. Okay? Where do you see the square corners? I see it here. So boom, boom. There's your square corner. There's your perpendicular. So two lines, that would be BF. If you wanted to say BE, you could. And then you have CE or AE. I'm going to go with CE. Again, you had some other options there. All right. Draw a line HF on the diagram that is parallel to AE. So let's find AE. Here's AE. All right. That's AE. So draw a line HF. So here's the F. You want to draw a line on that diagram that is parallel to AE. So we know it's going to go up and down, but it's perpendicular to GF. Ooh, this is a good one here. Hold on a second. All right, so it's parallel to the AE, so we know it's going to go up and down this way, but it's perpendicular to, okay, so here's GF. GF is right here. Okay, so GF, I had to find that is right there. Oh, this is easy. Take your ruler or your protractor and just do a line straight up. Pew! Bam. And that would be HF. Put an H up here. Okay, so we just knocked that one out. Number 11 says, draw and describe a point. What real-world object would you be use as a model? So the point, we're talking location. Okay, an example might be your pencil point. An example might be at the end of a sewing needle, right? End of a tetanus shot, that point. So we just knocked out 11. 12. Allie says if two lines share a point, they cannot be parallel. Do you agree? Well, if two lines, right? If two lines share a point, okay? If two lines, those are actually rays. If two lines share a point, they cannot be parallel. Do you agree? Well, if they're parallel, they're never going to touch. They're never going to intersect. So we have to agree, okay? All right, because if they touch, they're not parallel, right? So there we go. All right, so 12 is done. 13, draw and label parallel lines, X, Y, R, S, able, ST, this kind of stuff. This right here is all kinds of craziness. Okay, let's look at our time. I'm going to sit there and say, do me this. take a pencil, just cross these guys out. All right, cross out 14 and 15. We're not going to worry about those. If you want to draw those on your own, that's fine. I'm not stressing about that. Number 15, which geometric term would you use to describe the lines to the right? So look at these lines right here. What are they doing? Do you see any square corners? So they're not perpendicular. Are they talking about point A? No. Are they parallel or intersecting? They're intersecting. There we go. So we just knocked out the whole back page. Okay? All right. What I want you to do is to focus on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay? Knock those out. Get those done. This is Monday, May 11th. I'd like to have this tomorrow, Tuesday, by May 12th by 3 o'clock. All right. Review, guys. Look back at page 550 and other pages. Talk soon.